Keith Fitz-Gerald joins us. What do you say, Keith? It seems to me that the market's beginning to settle down a little bit, as if the market's priced in the war. What do you say?
I agree 100%. Here's the thing, Stuart, and I don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, but starting with World War II, there have been 29 major geopolitical instances. And of that, on averages, the markets were higher just 3 months later. 60% of the time, they were higher a month later. So what's happening, like any other adverse event we've seen throughout history, the markets are beginning to price that in, live with it, and move on. Now, good thing is that means we've got a future ahead of us and we've got to invest accordingly.
When do we get the real bounce?
You know, that's tough to say. I think we now know what the Fed's plans are. I think all of that money is going to come in. But interestingly enough, it's not going to come in like it used to. It's not going to be a flood. There's going to be some very careful stock selection. You're going to have to stick with the best names, the best brands. We've just seen all that coming out of the pandemic, through the conflict. So it's 60, 90 days out probably.
But what nobody's really talking about going back to challenge those old highs on big tech and the other. Nobody's talking about that, are they?
I haven't heard that. I've talked with traders around the world over the weekend. I think it's too early to talk about that. What people are looking for now is to get a footing, and that's beginning to happen. That's why you're seeing trading split like this. The Dow is a very narrow index. The S&P 500 is a very broad index. Tech, of course, is going to pull ahead of value any day of the week once the momentum comes back.
What's your favorite group of stocks as of right now?
Defense stocks. Defense stocks. And here's why. It's not just a thing in the Ukraine or with Russia. It's a long-term play. We've got hypersonic missiles apparently used for the first time in combat over the weekend in Ukraine, and that means there's going to be a lot of spending going ahead. Cyber warfare is a part of defense, so I'm not just saying defense in terms of bombs and bullets, but bits and bytes.
Okay, we got it, Keith. Difficult market to work in, I'm sure, for guys like you,
yes,
but that's your job. You've got to stick with it, lad.
Yes, sir.
You know, here we are saying, hey, maybe the market's all settled down, but you can never really tell, can you? I mean, you can have a dramatic move at 3:50 in the afternoon.
That's the beauty of it, right? Is because just when you think the worst is upon you, it's like that old saying, the dawn is always darkest before the sun rises. And that's very much the case with the stock market. So one of the reasons why I find them so interesting and so compelling and have for 40 years.
The night is always darkest right before the dawn. I think that's the correct one. All right, Keith, thanks very much indeed. We'll see you again real soon.
Hi, it's Keith here. Thanks for checking out today's highlight clip. What'd you think? Did I make sense? Is there something you'd like to add? Make sure you leave a comment down below, and of course, click subscribe to keep up right here on YouTube, or sign up for the email newsletter at the link below. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram for my real-time thoughts on markets, analysis, and a whole lot more.